smartphone again. I provide some links that you can use, that I get some information from this presentation, Stanford 2025, etc., MIT project, and then Kyoto Design University, etc. Now, the mission of university should be foster talents, create knowledge, contribute to the society. And this is the United Nations big project, Sustainable Development Goals, 17 of them with 169 targets. And hopefully we can foster our students moving into this direction. This is what the reason our university exists. Thank you very much for listening.
We will open 1 or 2 short questions. So, does anyone want to ask President Wang? Thank you for your presentation, very useful presentation. I would like to ask how the cooperation between academia and industry looks like now in Taiwan, and how it will look like in the near future.
But we have a percentage, at least half of them have interns in in the industry. We have incubator, okay, and so we have special programs between company and university. On-job training, they send students to university because they get higher suspension rate if they come to get our degree. And we work locally because we have a few industrial park. The first industrial park in Taiwan is like 1 mile away from my campus, and software park. So we work closely, and we use the competition, hackathon, those stuff. We try to promote that, like it's constantly they are hosting those hackathons. So that's what we are doing right now. But in the future, they want to have a joint program. The program is designed that student must go there for like sandwich program or whatever. The employer like to have 4th year intern and then stay in the company because we're really short of manpower in Taiwan. Okay, I hope that answers your question. Thank you.
Any other question? Okay, so President Wang.
In Malaysia, we have a program, what we call it a collegiality and commonality among institutions. Commonality and collegiality, meaning to say that the university or institutions, they are expected to share, to optimize the resources. So to what extent that this being practiced in Taiwan in general? If you can answer that, thank you.
I don't think I can answer for the companies because there's one time we went to ASE, world largest semiconductor packaging company.
Yeah.
We cannot go into their lab. It's commercial, industry secret. They don't want you to touch that. Their profit comes from that part. But they do need some technicians to operate those expensive machines. Each one of them is millions of dollars. So they do need those sort of in-between technician and engineers. So they are very high demand on well-trained students, very high demand. So the first step is intern. The 4th year, the 3rd year or 4th year, or the summer, work in the company, and they're going to pick, that's a 3 out of 10 instead. And they pay good. Those high-tech companies, they pay good. Okay?
Just going to be a quick question, really. First of all, thank you very much for your very interesting talk. Second, okay, as you mentioned earlier, there's a lot of competition in this higher education market. So what's your selling point to attract these overseas students to go to your institute?
All universities face the same issue. In Taiwan, I can only say it's high quality, inexpensive, free, democracy, safe. Because really, we have the lowest tuition in the world. One lowest tuition. Let me give you one example. $2,000 per year tuition. $2,000. In United States, $2,000 for one credit. Zero. But living cost is lower in Taiwan, right? Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank President Wang for giving us so nice talk. And now we will go to the next speech. And the next keynote speaker is Professor Hong Pham. And he comes from Rutgers University in USA. He is a distinguished professor and former chairman of the Department of Industrial and System Engineering at Rutgers University. He is also a co-founding member and an associate director of the Rutgers Center of the Information Assurance. And Professor Pham has been served as the editor-in-chief and the editor, associate editor, guest editor, and the board members of many journals. And he is also the editor of Springer book series in reliability engineering, and the editor of World Scientific book series on industrial and system engineering. And he also served as a conference chair and the program chair of over 30 international conferences and workshops. And he is the author and the co-author of the 6 books and published more than 135 journal articles and edited 10 books, including Springer handbooks on engineering statistics and the handbook on reliability engineering. And he also has delivered over 30 invited keynote speeches. And he got many awards, including the 2009 IEEE Reliability Society Engineer of the Year Award. And he is now IEEE Fellow and IIE Fellow. And let's welcome Professor Pham for his talk.
Good morning. Thank you, Professor Hong, for the introduction. I'm Hong Pham from Rutgers University, Rutgers in New Jersey. We are in the central of the New Jersey to New York City, about 45 minutes without traffic. So I'm glad to be here. And this conference is very interesting, particular to me. Mainly because coming from American university, we honestly we didn't hear anything about the university 4.0, and also the term in terms of the industry 4.0 also very new also, but we do care about indirectly. So Rutgers University last year we celebrate for the 250 year for the university, and right now Rutgers we have 70,000 students. Surely many come from U.S., but also many come from international country and so on. Rutgers is the 8th oldest university in America. And that is from the beginning, that is private university, but until in the 1956. So the state of New Jersey would like to have some of the university to represent New Jersey. So they choose Rutgers to become state university. So sometimes sometimes you see the name is Rutgers University, but many times on the official, you can also see the name called State University of New Jersey. So that is sometimes, but surely many people get to know for a long time. So even though until now, we just call Rutgers University, but no longer private university. And every year in May, we graduate more than 15,000 students. And even though we don't talk about much about, or many of us, we don't know. By the way, I'm in the 25th year at my university, and also have been involved some administration in the university and so on. So we don't talk much about the University 4.0. Also, not many of us heard about the Industry 4.0. So that's why when the Professor Thanh sent me email, invite me to participate here. First, by the way, because I'm a Vietnamese, so all the time I love to come back home. And second, also I believe this is a very interesting conference. So I right away I just Google, and a lot of things coming out from the Industry 4.0 and University 4.0 and so on. But we do care in American university, we do care about indirectly. So for example, for the president of the university or the leader of the university to care about, well, let's say by the end of the year, we have a 15,000 students graduate. How many students get job? Whether we have 100% student get a job, or if we get a 25% of the student get a job, and I'm sure if only 25% of the student get a job, the president have to go, no longer. So this is considered the key, and also the dean we have to care about. So this is one of the key. Whatever you are going to do, they don't care. But that is, and also because it's very important, because the students pay a lot of money. So the president just mentioned about, well, I'm sorry I have to say, but American tuition, American university tuition, very high. And I'm glad in many of the many other countries, very low. But very easily, students have to pay more than $50,000 per year. I mean, $50,000 or $50,000 per year, not including not including the room, not including some other, but only the tuition. And if we multiply 4 years, $200,000. I mean, no way for many family can provide the money. But I'm sure lately or recently you heard about some of the states in America having considered tuition free. I'm sure many of you know about, and very few. Mainly like one example recently in April, so the state of New York, my neighbor, shall provide tuition free. Well, you know, many of us doing research, working on optimization, that is zero-sum game. So if that is free, so that means somebody have to pay. Nothing is free. So, and some other state also going to follow, going to consider the tuition free and so on, but that is different. So what I'm going to talk today mainly to focus about what makes a tough university. And truly along with in terms of the Industry 4.0 and University 4.0 and so on. So we are living in the very, very exciting in terms of the technology, and we have been talking about the Industry 4.0. So the information is moving quickly. The information moving very, very fast compared to we haven't been before. And because of the moving so fast, so that it will impact our life, impact our everyday activity, and also impact the business the way we are going to do. And many business, many organizations doing well and did well 20 years ago, today no longer exist. But also, like some of the first speaker today also mentioned about in the last 20 years, having so many of the new organizations, many industry coming up due to because of IT and so on. So we have to change in a way how to do the business. And today, I'm sure that in Vietnam or in everywhere, everybody have not only cell phone but smartphone. And we can easily to talk to the people from one to another and so on. And by the way, because of this one here, for example, when we send an email and we want to get the solution we want the other person sent back right away. And very, very common because as something like many of you handle for the editor and so on. So many times the people send you email, and after a day they haven't heard anything. So they just send another email asking, just wonder if you received the email. So we are living in a way the information moving so fast, and surely because of this is from the industry, but also that impact to the university also, and also the new idea move quickly. We have because mainly why they move quickly, because they cannot sell the product the same way. Every year, for example, smartphone, every year they come out a new model. Why? Mainly because they can make money, but also at the same time they can add in more for the customer, to make the customer happy. Surely for the industry, they have to make the customer happy. Many times the people say, well, customer is number one. And I'm just wondering how we, from the university point of view, do we consider student our customer, right? And talking about smartphone, I mean, this is we have to appreciate today's technology, because like 20 years ago, if I had to make a telephone call, in particular for the long distance I call and so on, we spend a lot of money to pay every month. Easily every month you have to pay more than $100 or $200 easily for the telephone call. But today this is not only free, but you have a Google Hangout, you have a Skyphone, you have a WeChat, you have Viber, and we have many other. Also at the same time we have a FaceTime, so we can do right away, not only the telephone call, but also we can see the video, we can see the people. So that is how the way we are living right now. So this is in the last 20 years. Well, we don't see this technology coming out, but Amazon, Yahoo, eBay, Google, Facebook, and so on. So they just came out only beginning in the 1990s, and they have done so well. Actually, they not only they have done so well, but also they will be considered one of the contribution into the Industry 4.0. Amazon today, I'm sure, even though in Vietnam, but I think you heard a lot, and they have done too many things right now. Not only for the Amazon, for the Facebook, for the online, but also very, very convenient for the customer, convenient for many of us. We don't have to go out to do shopping. We can just stay home in front of the computer, in front of the smartphone, and you can buy, you can book whatever, everything. But also all of the industry here, they can easily to collect the data. And that is when they collect the data, they can do using the IT, using the machine learning along with the AI, so they can they can predict what is the customer going to buy, right? So many times when you get out into the Amazon, you want to buy something, or particularly you want to buy a book. At the same time, they also going to give you the recommendation, some other book you may want to consider. And I think very, very interesting to looking at not only Amazon, but also many other along with the Google. So they give you very, very good timing. Within the millisecond, they also going to give you the information. If we go back and looking at how they can do that, because they have a big database. And when the people are going to searching for the book, for the information you are going to looking at, right within the second, they give you a list of recommendation. And if we are talking about the database, they have a big, huge database, the data center. But how they can do that? So that is how the IoT, AI, machine learning came up. And that is how to contribute into the industry 4.0. Even though in American university or in America, not many people pay attention, not many people heard about industry 4.0, but this is what we are living right now. Okay? And also, by the way, the end of the year, most of the university we care about how many students graduate, how many of them go to work for Google, go to work for Amazon, go to work for eBay, so such kind of thing. Okay? And this is one example, because I'm doing in my research focus in the fault tolerant and reliable engineering prediction and so on. So many times, like 20 years ago, we had a problem because we don't have the data. And the problem, we don't have the data, so that is very, very difficult to do in terms of the modeling and predict for the future in terms of the system and so on. But today is not the same. That is not the problem, because today not only from the list I just showed you, Amazon, eBay, and Google and so on, they collect the data. But I think every one of us, we can easily to collect the data. And we can collect a lot of data. For example, so this is one example here. I have the Fitbit, and every day we have the 86,400 seconds. From my Fitbit here, I can set up to collect the data every millisecond. So, and mainly because the Fitbit here monitor my temperature at the same time here, so they are going to look at that in terms of the health condition, heart rate, and such kind of thing. So all such kind of information very easy. If you got the Fitbit, you can just set up, and we do by the end of the day, I have the total of more than 86 million data observation. And that is more than enough. We can do the study, we can do the analysis, and this is very, very convenient. So today, the data is not a problem, but that's why 10 years, 15 years ago, we heard a lot talking about the big data, and now talking about the super data and so on. So data, huge. A little figure here, going to a little bit. Okay. The figure at the corner here, mainly we can do a lot of things. For example, if we can monitor the body and going to looking at the within the system here, they can also, when they receive the data, so they can analyze the data and send back if you have some problem, or the same thing if we have the system we put out in the field, and then they can collect the data all the time, and then they analyze the data right away, and then they will send back to the people right away if there is any problem, so that they can schedule do the maintenance. So now they're very, very interesting and can do a lot of things. Okay. So the Industry 4.0 here, mainly we're looking at here the first one. So the Industry 4.0 here, mainly the first one contributing in terms of automation, and the machine, cloud computing, and all the three here put together, we have the Internet of Things, IoT. So this is the way, and if we are going to looking at in terms of automation, so this is contribute a lot in the society in the last 10 years. For example, this is one of the manufacturer, one of the factories here. Maybe 10 years ago, may have 1,000 people going to do in the floor. But today, for you can see here, this all the robots here, so can reduce from instead of 1,000 people, only now maybe 20 people available to do. So what happened to the rest 950 people? But mainly the robots here going to can take care of many things. The information here also going to looking at the robot are going to expect it to get about 38% by the year 2030. So looking at about 10 years from now, so the robot can dominate a lot of work from manufacturer and factory and so on. But on the other hand, we are going to look at it in a positive way. So not only reduce the labor people, but also can introduce some other new job skill, including if the people working on in IT skill, people working on in AI, people working on in robotic and big analytic and so on. So that are many other opportunities also including. Now we're looking at in terms of, well, for the Industry 4.0, along with the technology now changing all the time, what happened to the university? Surely because industry and education are not too independent. So surely why? Mainly because the end of the year, our students graduate, they will not stay longer at the university, but they have to go out. And they have to go out, so that means the industry people have to offer the job so that they can go. So if we are going to produce our customer, I mean student, and if they cannot get a job, that is not the case, and that will no longer exist. So that's make very pressure to the university how we are going to do, and usually, believe it or not, usually university we stay behind at least 10 or 15 years compared to in terms of the technology. So technology here, mainly the three dimensions I think going to contribute. The first one in terms of the robotic, and the second one in terms of the AI, and the last one in terms of the machine learning. But for the robotic, I think in American university, many universities actively have the robotic curriculum into many programming there. But not only American university, but also now many high school also actively working on, or they have the robotic curriculum in the high school. And in fact, many high school students, when they graduate, they do a lot of very good. They can design and have a lot of robotic knowledge, including before they are going into the university. So this is the case. And I believe, I think in Asia here, many high school, because they do have some competition every year. So I'm aware of many high school curriculum also including, but also many other high school may have not yet. So we have to get into this curriculum. AI. AI, the artificial intelligence here, this is not new. By the way, AI have been studied around in 1956 when the people going to looking at and so on. So if we are going to looking at from the AI from 1956, so that means 60 years already. But the AI community have been up and down. So they up and down until in the 1980, so that more AI now, more looking into it, and then also the machine learning. Machine learning also again early in around 1970. But or if we are going to looking at in terms of the machine learning and artificial intelligence, mainly going to looking at in terms of when you have the data, how quickly you can eliminate some of the noise from the data to eliminate, and then try to get the useful information to predict. And machine learning in a way, I'm sure we heard a lot about the data mining and machine learning. So they are the two very, very close to, but machine learning mainly focused about how they can use the information, and along, if we are going to looking at here, this one of the function, and given the data here, how they can use the quality data in order to predict for the future. So that's why when we get into the Amazon, going to order for something or looking for something, they also going to recommend you some other, mainly because they looking at from all the quality data before, and then they can predict. But I think very, very interesting, because the machine learning only not good enough. They have to include in AI. Because if you have, even though you have the quality data, you can use a lot of modeling to do, but if the solution you are going to provide, let's say 5 minutes after you are looking at many people gone from the Amazon and so on, but they give you within milliseconds. So that you cannot do without the AI. So the next 15 minutes, I'm going to talk about what will a tough university look like. Surely by today, 2017, we know, because the many ranking and so on, so we can say whether we accept it or not, but that we know the information. And the second topic also going to talk quickly about what makes a top university in the 21st. Okay? So American University, luckily, I think we have done well until now. If you are going to looking at from the U.S. News 2017, so that it came out. By the way, U.S. News, they do the ranking for the global university every year. Recently, for the last few years, before they only do in U.S. But for the last few years, they including the global university ranking and so on. So from the 2017 ranking here, among the top 50 universities, 35 universities from America, including in the top 50. And surely we are going to looking at what happened will be by the 2050. So 30 years from now, what will be the top 50 university, given the industry 4.0, given the education 4.0, and the society now changing. So what will be the top 50 university? And I think that it will be interesting, because I know in Asia here, many countries, surely everybody want to have some top university in our country, right? So that everybody want to do the competition and so on, to looking at, and should be interesting to see what will be the top 50 by the 2050. And I'm sure they will be different. So whether if the American university still have 35 or less or more, but surely will be different. And that will be very, very interesting to see. Some of you, the previous speaker, also talking about some of the challenge issue, but also surely American university also have some challenge as well. So I just want to share with this one here. So the first one mainly because in order for us to do the research, we need to get the funding, and the funding considered very, very crucial. Only you can do good for the research that make the top university, but without the research, no longer true. And in order to do the research, the funding must be the key. And I just want to give you a few minutes, if many of you may not be aware of. So at the American University, we hire the young people coming to become assistant professor after they graduate. And usually we do give the young professor 6 years for them to do the research. And in America, we have the system we call promotion and tenure. So after the 6 year, if any faculty not doing well, they have to go. That's very, very simple. And the way we are going to looking at in terms of 3 criteria only for the faculty going to pay attention. First, they have in terms of the research, in terms of teaching, and in terms of the service. So that all the 3 key, consider the key. Whatever the people are going to do, we don't looking at what the people are going to do today or the next day, but mainly the end of the end of 5 years. So the faculty have to put all together everything, so that during the 6 years, the faculty have to show how they have done in the last 5 years. And mainly very, very fair system we are going, because the whole process, the promotion and tenure take for 9 months. So usually 9 months, and mainly the faculty going to submit all the information or the research, and then we also going to ask the people from outside the university write the letter of recommendation. So the letter of recommendation is usually we looking at from 6 letter until 10 letter from the people from outside who the people consider expert know well. So that is very, very good in terms of to see how the expert people are going to say this particular individual. So that is considered when we receive back the letter of recommendation. So mainly they are going to, so that letter of recommendation going to looking at how this person to be an expert in the field. And that they consider, so surely that including how many research publication, how many funding including. So consider that including the funding. And also in terms of teaching. Well, we don't worry too much about what the faculty are going to cover, but mainly at the end of semester. So we have the semester, we have about 4 months every semester. So by the end of the semester, students provide the evaluation. So if the faculty skip class, or if didn't do well, or if students send an email, send a message, and the faculty didn't respond, at the end he will get a penalty. And that is also including in the promotion process to looking at, and also the service. So the service not only within the university, but also going to look at it, how this individual going to participate in terms of professional society. Do they do any other scholarly in terms of the committee and so on? So that all the 3 criteria including, and then along with the letter of recommendation and so on. So the university we have 3 levels for the people going to looking at. So from the department level, so they are going to review, and then they are going to get into the school level, and then finally the university have to decide. But at the end of 6 years, either the faculty stay, mainly if they get the faculty stay, so that means they get promotion and get tenure. But otherwise, the people will have to leave. So that is very, very key. But in terms of the some challenge here, so further in terms of the funding, so the funding lately have less and less. So that is one of the very, very big challenge for the faculty people. And also many states also have got a lot of funding. So even though in America we have a public university, but doesn't mean the state going to provide 100%. That's no. So usually they provide up to like 25%, 30%. So that is more than enough. So my Rutgers University, even though we public university, but from the beginning, like 50 years ago, because they want the Rutgers to become a state, so they provide a lot more. But until now, we have about 25%. So that means the remaining 75% of the operation the money have to coming from the research funding, and have to also coming from in terms of the endowment, in terms of the alumni when they are going to provide the funding and so on, along with the tuition. So because somebody cut, so that means the only way for the university can do it, they can get a little bit higher the tuition. But we cannot get every year we have more and more tuition coming up, so that the family cannot provide. So this is the challenge. But the opportunity is so far until now, we do have many international students come, along with many outstanding students still want to come to America. So this is one of the benefits in terms of the American university for sure. And also in terms of from the beginning for the Nobel Prize here, we can look at so many research scholars from America, so we get about 60%. So this is considered a very, very good opportunity to attract students. So what makes a top university? So looking at, I think this among the top, we got a very, very common here. We can see Harvard, Stanford, MIT, Caltech, University of California, Berkeley, Princeton. I think that's among the top 10 in America. And from United Kingdom, so the Oxford and Cambridge were considered well known. Usually they are among the top 10 and so on. Some other universities also including. I just list here the top 50 global university from the U.S. News. So this is so that's why Professor speaker just mentioned about the NTU from any university from Taiwan. So I didn't see from here, but mainly I think rank about number 68 something. So that's why not including. So no university from Taiwan including in the top 50. So this is from the list of the top 50 global ranking. By the way, this is available from the U.S. News, so that is okay. But this one we can see every year now. There have many organizations also doing ranking. So the first, so the second column in terms of, so this is from the U.S. News. But the two other organizations do the ranking from the UK. So this is QS University ranking, and Time Higher Education also from UK here doing. And the last column here, academic ranking from China, from Shanghai. So this is the four have been doing the ranking coming out every year. I think but lately there are some other play also they try to do some of the ranking and so on. But if we are going to looking at this or the four organization ranking here, each organization they combine different information. So many factors they're looking at. So one example, like from the U.S. News, they also going to looking at in terms of how many students in the university, how many professors including, and the funding they're also going to looking at. They're also going to looking at in terms of the alumni, how many percent of your students who graduate, and then they give back to the university. So such kind of information including in the U.S. ranking. But all the organization, when they do the ranking, they combine in a different. And one example, like for the academic ranking, they consider how many Nobel Prize the university received, so they also including that factor into the ranking. So that's why we can see this one here, very not easy to identify which one will be considered the first or which one considered second, but we have to pay attention in terms of what kind of the factor they are going to looking at. But very, very common here, we can list the top 10 easily. But after the top 10 will be very, very difficult to look at, to list of the university looking at. And for example, for the University of California, Berkeley, and I'm sure many of you heard about, so the ranking is very, very different from the one ranking number 4, one ranking number 3, but another ranking number 10 and ranking number 28. So mainly again because they looking at for the different information, different factor. But whatever the information, every leader of the university pay attention. So surely nothing, so people pay a lot of attention very, very carefully. And because of this one, to indicate how well of the university, and the people can use this information here, can get more funding from the government, can get more students, mainly because the student first, they are going to looking at the information here, so that he or she going to apply for the university. So that in one way or another, every information here, very, very helpful. But will be interesting to looking at here in Asia. So in Asia here, they did, so the ranking I'm looking at here, again, because the different the organization that have a different, but the first one, but if we are going to looking at for the US ranking, so the US ranking here, rank the University of Tokyo will be number 1, and NUS, National University of Singapore, number 2, and so on. But compared to some other, but I think in Asia, to me, in my opinion, I think if we are going to looking at in terms of the top 10 university in Asia, so some of the university, including should be University of Tokyo and NUS, National University of Singapore, and 2 universities from Tsinghua University and Peking University. I think that among the top 10 university in Asia. So what makes the top university? So we can looking at there are many, many factors when the people are going to combine together. So there is no single factor can contribute, can make a university to be the top. However, to be the top, it is well understood a university must have a good reputation. That is number 1. High caliber faculty and high research citation. So I believe that in this, along with many, many other factors, but this will be considered the key. So we're looking at here, so to become the top here, so this should be the outstanding faculty, high caliber faculty. Also along with the quality student, mainly because if we have the outstanding faculty, so doing strongly good in research and so on, so surely students want to come. So you don't have to go away to ask students come, but they will come to you because if you have the outstanding faculty, and outstanding faculty due to because you have a high research citation and many, many other things. So that is the key. And also when you have a student, and particularly if you have an outstanding student, many people will want to become professor at the university because we don't have much time to do research, but if we have the outstanding student, they can do a lot for us as the professor. And nowadays we care a lot to do the research, citation, and many, many other things. If we have the right, good, outstanding student, they will do a lot more. And surely every one of us, we love to have outstanding students, right? Even though we can provide funding for students and so on, but that is very, very helpful. And surely for that one here, including the leadership. So the leadership, I mean the higher level, have to provide the good environment for the faculty, because if outstanding faculty, if they don't have a good environment, they will go. Why they have to spend the time? And particularly in America, so we have a freedom to do. So if the university don't provide you a good environment to do research, a lot of things you have to take care of, they will go. And if many outstanding faculty go away, I'm sure the president of the university also have to go also, because that does make the university reputation. So the good practice here, mainly we are going to look at it along with the IT, along with the industry 4.0, and students nowadays, actually many times students, they can do a lot more for us. They know a lot of IT and so on. So what students going to looking at, or they have to ask themselves when they are going to looking at for the university, mainly besides if I come to study after 4 years, besides the diploma, what I'm going to get from the university. In another way, just say, at the end of 4 years, I spend a lot of money to study and so on, am I going to get a job? And good university also not only provide students can get a job, but also get a good job. They can get a job at Google, they can get a job at Microsoft, they can get a job at Apple, they can get a job in the many other high organizations and so on. So that it makes the difference for the good university. So in terms of the university, what we are going to do, what we are going to prepare, surely like I mentioned from the beginning, many of us, we don't know about it, we don't hear about the name University 4.0 or Industry 4.0, but we do every year, every semester, we do update the curriculum. So the research, whatever you do the research, we also embed it into the curriculum, so that mainly because we want at the end of the year, when students graduate, they can get a job. So the good practice here, we will have to prepare for the skill and knowledge for students, and mainly in terms of during the time they study, can they get a work experience. And work experience here, mainly from the industry and so on. And good practice number 2, we should include in a way so that they can have opportunity for the international experience. So this is very, very crucial. And I think this one, the China, every year I receive a lot of requests. So mainly not only students from China, but also many scholars, many young professors also want to come to America to do 1 year, and mainly they get the funding from the government. So even though for students, they also, when students doing PhD, so the last year, the government also, they provide the funding for students come to America to spend 1 year to do research. And then after that year, so students will go back and then finish a PhD in China. And I think that is a very, very good way in terms of, because even though students go there, spend 1 year, the money should be considered less, but can have a very, very good international experience. And I think that is very, very crucial in terms of the academic and in terms of the financial point of view. And the last one here, in terms of for the university, we need to look at how we can link the university and industry, because this is considered crucial, because on the one hand, we consider the university, we consider our customer will be students. But on the other hand, we should consider the industry should be our customer also, because we produce the product student, but we want to have the customer going to buy so that the industry have to offer for students and so on, so that they consider we are going to including in the whatever you call the education 4.0, but we have to prepare such kind of the curriculum including for the university for students. So finally, I'm going to summary it in terms of if you forget whatever I just mentioned about, so I just want you to take away with this is the key. So in terms of the industry already here and education 4.0 already here. So I just say here this is the IE 4.0, and on the other hand, there will be significant difference between the top 50 global universities today compared to the list of the top 50 universities by the year 2050. And whatever that university will be interesting, we can use the machine learning to predict, but that will be very, very interesting. But on the other hand, even though there are a lot of changing, a lot of uncertainty, but surely I believe such the difference will not affect the core of what we define a top university. And the first one should be considered outstanding faculty. Second, we will consider high quality committed student. And finally, should have a strong leadership. And I'm sure if we consider all the three here, we'll make the top university. Thank you very much for listening.
Yes. Thank Professor Fang for his nice talk about the factor to be a top university. So, is there any question to Professor Fang? Yes?
Thank you again for your talk. Okay, in your talk, okay, you were talking about the students is the university's customer or the client. Okay, and our client, in the end, the main target is to find a job in a good company, and so their client is a company. But unfortunately, okay, the requirement from the company might not necessarily compatible or exactly the same with the expectation from the students. I mean, the first talk in the morning in Europe, we quite focus on this called STEM because the industry really looking for a lot of people in that area. But unfortunately, our students don't like it a lot. They don't like program. They don't like do hard science. They don't like do the maths. So how can you address this kind of issue? What's your view?
Well, when I mentioned when we have the product or the new product, we need to have the customer to buy, right? And the same thing for the university. The first one we have, because we need to, at the university, we need to have a student. And students, so that's why if students, they believe, well, your university can provide good curriculum so that finally at the end they can get a job, they will come. Because of that one, we consider the customer. But at the end, we also now, when they are in, so we want to send them back. And mainly because if you have the product, but nobody going to buy, that is also that is the industry not going to offer, then nobody to come. I mean, we cannot get a student. So that is, but doesn't mean, I understand it doesn't mean we have to get the curriculum in terms of what the industry people going to looking at, because they will looking at it in different way. But we cannot isolate the industry and the university curriculum so that nobody going to offer for students get a job. So that have to be the balance into.
Thank you, Prof. My name is Siti. I'm from Malaysia. First few speakers just now spoke about the role of lecturers that are changing from the source of knowledge to become mentor and also curators of knowledge. And then the way the education being delivered is changing as well. The classroom now is becoming flipped classroom, where students come for just discussion. It's on-demand education. But how ready are regulatory bodies like ABET, especially in programs like in your universities, engineering programs? We know there's a saying, they say there are two institutions that always slow to respond to changes. One is religious institution, the other one is academic institution. So how does a university, especially the vice chancellors, to move universities to respond to this fourth industrial revolution? Thank you.
Thank you. I think you mentioned about the ABET. And the ABET process is tedious, but very, very simple. Because we also in America also we have to do the ABET every 6 years. So that, but the very tedious mainly because you will have to keep the information. So every year you will have to get in terms of, okay, where and how students get a job and such kind of the information and curriculum and learning, but not very, very difficult to do. Surely you will have to provide a lot in terms of the lifelong learning and many, many other things they're looking at, but that is very, very simple enough. But mainly if you can provide the customer, they can get 100% of the job, ABET will not have any option to say no. So mainly the key is if you can provide students and they can get a job and get a good job, everybody loves it. That is the key.
Yeah. Hello. I'm Supamit from Thailand. I totally agree with you about the success factor or attributes of the university. But in Industry 4.0, and Education 4.0, many people talk about teaching methodologies. For example, the flipped classroom. I myself I'm not convinced by that, methodology, because it assumes that students have to study first before they come to classroom. And this assumption is not actually true. In practice, people don't normally study before they come to classroom. So my question is, since the teaching methodology is not part of your attributes, what is your opinion about it? And do you think flipped classroom is a solution to the success of the university? Thank you.
Thank you. I'm sure in terms of the classroom teaching, the same like in America, we don't take attendance. So that means student freedom, they want to come to class or they don't want to come to class, we don't care. But mainly they are going to take the exam at the end. So mainly for the teaching, I think as the professor you can control. In one way or another, you can control in many different directions. Usually we do provide the project for students and provide the exam. So the project for students they can do in terms of the group together, and that is to show them how, because when they go out to get a job, so they have to know how to talk from one to another, how to work together, because today they cannot do a single one. And that is also including, I believe, in the teaching in teaching the education 4.0. But the end of the day, as professor, you can control. You can control what you are going to provide to students. Surely, sometime also we have the problem because many times the teacher don't spend enough time to provide the lecture to students. I think we have to look in it that way also. And if if students come to class and they gain nothing, why they have to come to class? So that's why I think as a teacher we can control, but our responsibility we will have to prepare what we can deliver for students, because if they come and they get nothing, and believe it or not, that is true. Many lecture students shouldn't come, mainly because if they come, they learn nothing. So I think that in a way we have to pay attention to ourselves as a professor also. But I believe I think at the end, the professor you can control your classroom.
Yeah, Professor.
Cái tinh thần của giáo sư không nói gì về công nghiệp 4.0 và chương trình đào tạo 4.0, nhưng mà thực chất là mục tiêu của giáo dục đào tạo Việt Nam cũng như mục tiêu của các trường đại học quốc tế là phải giải quyết vấn đề hiện nay học sinh sinh viên ra trường có việc làm. Đấy là một cái điều rất là bổ ích trong cái bài phát biểu của giáo sư. Và trường Đại học Nguyễn Tất Thành cũng như tất cả các đại học Việt Nam bây giờ phải giải quyết một vấn đề là đào tạo, giá trị đích thực của giáo dục đào tạo là phải gắn với việc làm, gắn với hệ sinh thái của doanh nghiệp và tất cả những cái viện nghiên cứu. Thì tôi cho đấy là bài nói chuyện rất cốt lõi, và tôi muốn là giáo sư sẽ gửi cho thông điệp đến các trường đại học Việt Nam là cần phải thực hiện được cái mục tiêu giá trị cốt lõi của giáo dục đào tạo là phải gắn với việc làm. Mà cái cốt lõi này chính là nền công nghiệp lần thứ nhất, lần thứ hai, lần thứ ba, và 4.0 đang đến với tất cả các nước. Nhưng nếu không cẩn thận có thông điệp thì Việt Nam vẫn còn đang rất là cảm thấy là cái cơ hội và cái thách thức rất lớn đấy còn rất chủ quan. Thì tôi muốn là hội thảo này, cái mục tiêu của nó chính là để cho đổi mới căn bản và toàn diện giáo dục Việt Nam là các trường đại học phải giải quyết vấn đề, phải tiếp cận với các chương trình đào tạo mới để cho những con người cuộc cách mạng 4.0 nó đến với Việt Nam thì nó sẽ có những cái thách thức là sẽ một loạt người thất nghiệp trong những công nghệ 4.0 ở tất cả các cơ quan dịch vụ và sản xuất. Thì những cái trách nhiệm xã hội của các trường đại học là phải có chương trình đào tạo cho 400 ngành nghề mới. Thì chúng tôi muốn được sự khiêm tốn học hỏi của các trường đại học như trường đại học Nguyen của giáo sư đã làm và rất nhiều đại học khác đang làm để giải quyết những vấn đề mà cách mạng công nghiệp 4.0 nó đã đến với tất cả các nước. Ở Việt Nam chúng ta đã nhìn thấy những việc đó. Thì tôi muốn là giáo sư, cách đặt vấn đề của giáo sư lúc đầu nghe tưởng như là một đại học lớn như thế không quan tâm đến 4.0, nhưng thực chất bài nói chuyện của giáo sư là đang quan tâm trực tiếp rất mạnh mẽ đến cái việc làm của các cái doanh nghiệp và các dịch vụ 4.0. Bởi vì tôi muốn là cái hội thảo hôm nay nó mang lại mục tiêu để làm sao tăng cường cái quan hệ hợp tác quốc tế để chúng ta cùng chia sẻ cái nhân lực của thế giới. Bây giờ nó là nhân lực toàn cầu, và Việt Nam nếu mà đứng ra ngoài cuộc chơi này thì Việt Nam sẽ là những công dân sẽ bị thất nghiệp, không phải ở Việt Nam mà thất nghiệp ở toàn cầu. Thì tôi muốn là thầy giáo sư cho những cái ý kiến như thế để các cơ quan truyền thông của Việt Nam giúp cho Việt Nam sẽ nhanh chóng gọi là hội nhập để đổi mới căn bản toàn diện giáo dục của Việt Nam từ các trường đại học. Và giáo sư nói là không phải đại học mà các trường phổ thông, thì chúng tôi cũng muốn là có cái cách nhìn đó từ các trường phổ thông và các trường đại học phải có cái cách nhìn của 4.0. Xin cảm ơn giáo sư.
Thank you. I think does it cover many issues, but I think the key is how we can, for the university, how we can prepare the curriculum, the education, so that they can, so when students ready, so they can go out and working in the working environment. I'm sure so this is a very difficult issue. Surely because every university, including America, we want to say, well, our student 100% get a job, but that is not true. But that is including all the time every time when we are talking about, so we're looking at in terms of how we can provide better education, better curriculum, we can embed it, whatever, so that we can, at the end, students spend 4 years, they can get a job. And also I mentioned because not only they can get a job, but also how they can get a good job. That is very crucial. And given the industry 4.0, given the education 4.0, I'm sure Vietnam have to be very, very careful also for the few years. Mainly because right now, from what I understand, many foreigner industry invest in Vietnam here more in terms of the manufacture or in terms of the factory. And if we are going to looking at in terms of the industry 4.0, a lot of things can do by robot. And that will be significant different before too late. So I think the country and many universities also in here also have to prepare now. I'm sure you don't have them. You have been considered to doing that, but I think that is before too late. That is very crucial.
Okay. Let's thank again for Professor Fang's good comment and a good presentation about how to make a university top. And because of the time, so if you have any other question, you can ask Professor Fang later. And let's thank Professor Fang again. Thank you. So I will thank for your attention because time limited. We will end our keynote section here. Also, okay.
Thank you very much. I know that you all have been very hungry right now, so we have prepared lunch. You can have lunch from this time until 1:30. The conference will resume at 1:30 p.m. today. The lunch will have been provided outside and in the downstairs. We also provide a room outside. Please follow the instruction. Thank you very much and enjoy your lunch.